Vice Chairman Kamal Dhanuka, Convener Kishore Joshi, speakers, young ladies, Trusha Parikh, Bijal Gada, and my dear friends. They have tried to balance something here. Here you are in the middle, those are sitting on the last. Come forward, no? First row is empty. It is not reserved. I welcome you to this study circle. How many of you were there in the earlier study circles also? Earlier meetings? Who has come for the first time? You were earlier. What, if you have any suggestions on the topics what should be taken, you can share with the chairman or committee members so that they can take it appropriately. Why these study circles are there? Can you, why you are here all of you? There cannot be blank faces. It may be something romantic since you are thinking something.
सर for learning something जो हम लोग आर्टिकलशिप पीरियड में नहीं सीख पाते।
Okay. I'll give an example. You are doing articleship, you go to your principal and you ask for a leave. So what is the factor which will lead to getting a leave and rejection? Another example, boy proposes a girl. What is the factor in both of this scenario? Persuasive power. How you can have persuasive power? Study circles are there which will give you technical background which will help you to develop a convincing power or persuasive power. Because unless until you know the subject, it's not possible for you to speak anything. Even though you may, because this is a playground for you where you can develop skills here and you can speak on the things later on. With this few words, I once again welcome you to the study circle and I give the proceedings to the Kamal Dhanuka to take it further. Thank you.
Thank you, Bharat bhai. Good afternoon, friends. Before I introduce today's speaker, I have a few announcements for students. Student Committee of CTC is organizing essay competition, the Dastur Essay Competition 2015. The topics would be 10 challenges to be tackled by Prime Minister, judicial activism, social sites and apps, skills or based relationship. So beware of WhatsApp and everything. Another, there is a time for regeneration also. On 1st of February, Student Committee is organizing first indoor sports tournament to be held at Andheri Sports Complex, Andheri West. Sports events includes badminton, both singles and doubles, table tennis, carom, chess, both singles and doubles. Participant would be member of CTC, their family members and article trainees. There is a small entry fees which is negligible. I think more and more you encourage your friends and family members to participate in this event. And again on 16th of January, we are organizing a half-day visit at National Stock Exchange to understand how they operate, how National Stock Exchange is operating. It will be on Friday, 16th January between 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. All the students are requested to contact for participation in these events to any of the committee members or office bearer at CTC. Then again, lastly, we regarding study circle next meetings, we again having a meeting on 5th of February. Topic is the filing of TDS return. And lastly, in this financial year, 5th of March on finance bill, that is after budget. Now coming to speakers, we have today two young ladies as a speaker. First one is Bijal Gada. Bijal Gada is a qualified company secretary. Currently, she is working with GMJ and Associate, a firm of practicing company secretaries. She has experience of both corporate as well as practicing firms and overall experience of 4 years. She has a vast experience in the matters such as formation of company, LLP, compounding application, winding up of company and various other compliances under Companies Act, SEBI and a listing agreement. Please welcome her with loud applause. After Bijal, we have another young lady, Trusha Parikh, as today's speaker. Trusha is again a qualified company secretary. She is also working with GMJ and Associates, a practicing company secretary firm. And she has a vast experience in company law matters such as formation of company. Both have the same knowledge, so there is no need of repetition. Please welcome her also with loud applause. Now I request our President Paras Bhai to present them a memento as a token of our love and appreciation. Manish Bhai. Thank you, friends. Now Bijal, over to you.
Good evening, friends. Good evening, the faculty of the CTC. I am Bijal Gada here. I will discuss with you the topics which are currently on an issue, like compliances to be done under the Companies Act 2013. The topic which I will cover is the incorporation of companies, issue and allotment of securities, acceptance of deposit, creation of charge, maintenance of various registers under Companies Act 2013. Now, Companies Act 2013 has given us the various opportunities of practicing professions. Because in the Companies Act 2013, there are various compliances to be complied with. Earlier in the 1956, private companies were exempted from the many provisions. It is not like here. In 2013, even the private companies are also included from the almost all the provision of Companies Act 2013. Now in the private company, they have given some of the exemptions, like to the small company and OPC. Now what is a small company? Small company is a company whose paid up share capital should not exceed 2 crore rupees, and its turnover should not exceed. Sorry, I have made a mistake. Its paid up capital should not exceed 50 lakhs rupees and turnover should not exceed 2 crore rupees. Any of the conditions, if not fulfilled, then that will be a small company. And OPC is the new concept in the Companies Act 2013. OPC have only one member. Now let us see the different types of companies which we can form under Companies Act 2013. Is the public company, private company, OPC and Section 8. Before going for the formation of the company, let us see the difference between a private company, public company and OPC. For forming a private company, applicant should have a minimum paid up capital of 1 lakh. For public company, minimum paid up capital of 5 lakhs rupees. And in case of OPC, it should have minimum 1 lakh and should not exceed 50 lakhs rupees. If paid up capital of the OPC is increasing beyond 50, then it will become a private company as normal. Now, in the Lok Sabha, the bill has passed, and there is a one clause like the minimum paid up capital requirement can be waived off. The act has not came, but there are chances that it may came. In case of private company, the name of private company should end like a private limited. As you are knowing, public company should have a word as a limited, and in case of OPC, it should have a private limited. But while mentioning them in the OPC, in the bracket they should write as a OPC.
Madam, here in the earlier section,
Yeah.
in the OPC it's written 1 lakh and shall be not be less than 50,000 or 50 lakhs.
50 lakhs.
50 lakhs.
50.
50 lakhs.
Shall not be greater than 1 lakh. And
Should not be less
Less than 1.
Shall not be less than.
Not
OPC का जो paid up capital है sir, वो it should be minimum as a 1 lakh, as like a private company. But if it's exceed 50 lakhs, then it will become a normal private
It
company.
shall not be greater than 50 lakhs.
Okay sir.
Sign correct.
It's okay.
In case of a private company, minimum members are 2. Public company should have minimum members as 7, and OPC is the 1 member only. 1 member can form a OPC. There is a prohibition on acceptance of like issue of securities from the outsider in case of a private company. There is no provision in case of a public company. If a company wants to form a public company, then they get an advantage of a public and they can have a large capital from the outsiders also. As in case of private company, OPC, there is a criteria for the capital is the same. They cannot accept, they cannot issue to the outsiders. There is a restrictions on a transfer of securities in case of a private company and public company. No restriction in case of a public company. Now let us move to the formation of a company, which steps to be formed for the formation of the company. Formation of the company is like a birth to a company. The first step will be obtaining a DIN. Then the DSC applicant should have their DSC. Second will be the application for the reservation of a name. Third will be the application of an incorporation of a company. Fourth is the certificate of incorporation with the ROC will provide. And fifth with the commencement of a business. Has anyone started with the incorporation of company? Because 2013, okay, you are aware about the procedure. Okay, very good. Now, what is a DIN? DIN is an 8-digit unique identification number given to the applicant. Like a PAN number, there is a DIN number for the director. Whoever wants to become a director in a company should have a DIN. There is a unique number, so there is if a director wants to become a director in another company, there will be no change in the DIN. DIN will be the same for all the companies. Form for the DIN is the DIR3 and applicant needs to pay 500 rupees for the same. There are certain documents to be attached with the form DIR3. The document will be the PAN card. PAN card is necessary for the Indian nationals. Passport will be the mandatory in case of foreign nationals. And proof of residence. If you are providing a utility bills, make sure that it should not be older than 2 months. Verification in DR4 is also required, and DR4 duly attested by the authorized person. Now, who are the authorized person? Notary is the authorized person. This DR4 should have a printing of ₹100 and needs to be attested by the notary.
notary only,
Yeah, notary can do the
Only notary.
notarized document required. That's why.
not any gazetted officer like income tax officer something.
Gazetted officer do the certification only. This verification required by the notary. Scanned copy of latest passport size photograph will require. This photograph needs to have a cross signature of the applicant. And the DSC, as in DR3, it is a mandatory to affix the DSC of the applicant. And make sure that if you are taking any documents for the DR3, you also ask for the mobile number, email ID, qualification and occupation of the applicant, because it is a mandatory field in the DR3. Now, after having applicant name and name has taken, then applicant can start with the formation of a company. Formation of a company, there is a form available which is INC1. Filing fees is 1,000 rupees, and while applying the name, one should take care that existing name should not be taken by the applicant. If existing name is taken by the applicant, the application will be rejected by the ROC. So, in case of a group company who wants to form another company with the same prefix word, they need to take a resolution for the same, that they do not have any objection if the proposed company using a prefix words.
Ma'am, you are saying, I'm not too aware of the company, I outsource to
Okay, sir.
CS. In that DIR4, as you rightly said, if it is to be notarized, then DIR4 is also an form which has to be uploaded, right? So you have to just scan that DIR4.
No, these are the attachment of form DR3.
DIR4 will go physically or it will get uploaded?
No, scan copy of DR4 will go with
That
DR3.
has to be notarized and
Yeah.
uploaded.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Physical requirement has been done with. It was in I think 2009. Afterwards, we are adding online only. At the time of applying name, as I said, existing name should not be taken. So you need to take a ROC search, which name will be available to you. Now, after applying the name, the ROC will provide a letter, and this letter and the name which appear on the letter will be valid for 60 days. So within the 60 days, all formality for the incorporation of a company should be complied with. After 60 days, the name will not be available, and again you need to pay 1,000 rupees, and again you start for the procedure or apply for the reservation of name. Now, after filing this INC1 and before getting the application, since we are getting only 60 days, you can start preparing a draft of memorandum and articles of association. All the documents needs to be filed for the incorporation of a company is INC 7, DR12 and INC 22. INC 22, INC 7, there are certain attachments to be filled up. DR12 is the particulars of directors, who will be the directors of a proposed company. All the details to be given in DR12. INC 22 is the particulars of a registered address of a company. Now, in case of OPC, DR12 and INC 22 will not be mandatory. It is only INC 2 which will be the mandatory. After filing INC 2, the company will get certificate of incorporation. While in case of other company, INC 7, DR12 and 22 shall go with the ROC. Now, what are the attachments of INC 7? The attachment will be the memorandum, articles of association, INC 8, affidavit form INC 9, INC 10, and filing fees and stamp duty will depend upon the authorized share capital of the company. Now, what things to be taken care of while drafting a memorandum of association of company? Earlier, in 1956, company can have other objects also. Now, it is the only main object and incidental object, ancillary object to the main object only. Company should not have other object in their memorandum. Articles of association should be as per table F, and both the private company and public company should have their articles. As per table F, private company can insert the provision of applicable provision to private company. What is the INC 8? INC 8 is a declaration given by the practicing professional that all the requirements with respect to incorporation of a company has been complied with. INC 9 is the declaration given by the directors and the subscriber that they are not disqualified to act as a director, or they are not disqualified in any of the act, or they are not contravened in any of the provision of the various acts as applicable. INC 10 is the particulars of a subscriber only. In INC 10, there will be a name, address, occupation and photograph of an applicant. And all these documents, INC 8, 9, 10 should have a franking and should be notarized by the notary paper. So the expense of the formation of a company is also increased in 2013. In memorandum and articles of association, in the last page, you need to attach a subscriber sheet also. This subscriber sheet should not be the printed one, it should be the signed one. Subscriber should sign in their hand, should write in their hand, it should be handwritten basically. Now, for the INC 2, that is for the OPC, what will be the documents to be attached with the INC 2? Memorandum and articles is a fix. PAN card copy and residential proof of the member and the nominee. Who is the nominee? Now, in case of a OPC, there is only one member. So, in case of the death of that member, the nominee will take care of all the compliances related to OPC. Consent letter will also require of the nominee. If consent letter is not there, then nominee cannot be appointed. Affidavit and INC 10, as previously I have explained, that is to be attached, and the proof of registered office address of a company. If a company is using registered office of someone else, then that person should give them an NOC. Now in the DIR 12, the mandatory attachment are DIR 2. DIR 2 is the consent letter of a director. With DIR 2, PAN card copy or ID proof and address proof is the mandatory. PAN card, this ID proof and address proof should be self-attested. And FBP1 form will also go. This is the particulars of the interest of person mentioned in the articles of the first directors of a company in any other body corporate. This is the interest of director in any other corporate or bodies corporate. Now, there is an option for filing INC 22. If you are not filing INC 22 with the INC 7, then you can file this form within 30 days of the incorporation. There is no need to file this form again if you have already filed with INC 7. Now, attachment to INC 22. Previously, if a company wants to change the registered office, then this can be done with the only board resolution. Now it is not the same. One should attach that the registered office address is used by the company, and who has given the property them to use, they should give their consent that they are ready to give this property to the company. If company has taken property on a lease or rent basis, then they should attach rent agreement. With rent agreement, rent receipt should be attached, which should not be older than 1 month. And if a company has purchased that property, then they should attach a purchase and sale agreement. Now, after filing all these documents, INC 7, DIR 12 and INC 22, ROC will issue Certificate of Incorporation. There is a form prescribed for Certificate of Incorporation, that is INC 11. Previously, there was no proper format was provided for the ROC people. Now the ROC people have to take care that they are giving a certificate in the proper format. So form is prescribed for them is the INC 11. Now what will be the INC will carry? INC 11 is the Certificate of Incorporation. It is like a birth certificate as individual are getting, so company will get Certificate of Incorporation. Certificate of Incorporation will have a name of the company, date of the incorporation, SIN. SIN is the 21-digit unique ID number allotted to the company. Now see the bifurcation of a DIN. There are 21 digits or the numbers with alphanumeric. This is alphanumerical number. First one is the status of the company. U is the unlisted, L will be the listed. It is like that. So if L is described, then company will be the listed company. Then 6 digits are the industrial code. It is as per the industry, ROC will give us this code. MH is the state. If a company is formed in the Maharashtra, then Maharashtra, like initials, MH will be there. Gujarat, then GO will be there. So by the SIN number, you can identify the in which year the company has formed, in which state it is running, and its status also. Then 2007 is year of incorporation. PTC is a private company, stands for private company. In case of PUC, it is in case of public, it is a PUC. And last 6 digits are the registration number of a company. Now, after filing all this form, company will get certificate of incorporation. But after getting certificate of incorporation, company cannot start or commence its business. Before starting or commencing a business, company needs to file one form. See, this is the extra formalities given to a private company also. Earlier, only this public company requires to take commencement certificate. Now there is no certificate, but declaration should be filed with the ROC before commencing any business by the private company and public company. OPC company is exempted from this, and Section 8 company, that is non-profit organization, are exempted. Now, what are the documents and within which time INC 21 should be filed? INC 21 should be filed within 180 days of the certificate of incorporation of a company. Sorry, by mistake I have mentioned 180 days of incorporation. Attachments will be the details of shareholders along with their shareholding, details of directors, board resolution to commence the business, form INC 7, INC 10, which we have already filed with INC 7, that only will go with INC 21. Certified copy of a bank statement showing that the subscriber amount has been received by the company. Earlier it was like the company has been formed and the promoters or the subscribers were not subscribing the amount. So this may be, this type may be taken by the MCA to cause this type of cases. So bank statement should be attached. So company needs to open a bank account after forming a company. And INC 22, which has been filed by the company, if it is not filed by INC 22, is for the registered office. If it is not filed, then it has to be filed, because getting a commencement of a business from the ROC, it will require to have INC 22 on the records of the ROC. Now, what if within a 180 days commencement of business approval has not been taken? See, ROC will give a notice to the company, and ROC see that there are no chances for commencing any business, then they will strike off a name of a company. So whole year amount and efforts and getting an incorporation certificate will be like a when.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
This commencement of business is required for every company now?
Yeah, it is required for private company and public company. Section 8 company and OPC are exempted.
Previously, in the previous law only,
Private company were exempted. Public company was required to take commencement certificate. Now, what will be the penalty if any of the provision of incorporation of a company have been not complied? See, at the time of incorporation, if the ROC comes to know that there are a fraud or there is any irregularity or complying with the provision, then ROC will punish that time also, and after coming to know that after forming a company, if ROC comes to know there are non-compliances at the time of incorporation, then also the first director and the person making a declaration for the incorporation, that is practicing professionals like CA, CS or CWM who has given the declaration, will also be punishable. Now, punishment and the penalty in the Companies Act 2013 has been increased drastically. there is no punishment like 500 rupees or 100 rupees. Punishment is like only in lakhs and crores. So here the imprisonment is also provided. Imprisonment will be 6 months and may extend to 10 years. And if there is a fraud, then the fine will be the amount involved in the fraud and the 3 times of the amount. It is the maximum penalty which can be levied. Now next step is the allotment of securities. Suppose if a company has formed with 1 lakh capital or a 5 lakh capital in case of a public company, then what the procedure to be followed for increasing their capital? First of all, the company needs to increase their authorized capital. By increasing authorized share capital, company can increase their paid-up capital. Now there are 3 types of allotment provided in the Companies Act 2013: private placement of securities, preferential allotment of securities, and right issue of securities. See, the concept here is a new concept is the securities, because earlier in the Companies Act 1956, they were described only shares. Now shares are equity shares and preference shares. While here is the securities. Securities is like not only shares, but your debentures, bonds will also be covered under the securities. So if you want to issue debentures or bonds, then also you need to follow the procedure provided under allotment of securities. Now let us see the private placement of securities and preferential allotment of securities. Definition is provided: any offer of the securities or invitation to subscribe to securities to 200% or less in a financial year. In a financial year, the person whom we are issuing shares should not exceed 200. If that is exceed 200, then CD provision or CD will come into the picture. So this is the private placement of securities, and preferential allotment of the securities is the same as the private placement of securities. Only difference is that in private placement, the number of person can be 50, 100 or 150 or 200. But in case of preferential allotment, it is like a handful of people whom the director or the shareholders are knowing. It is like 5 to 10 people to whom we are issuing shares. Procedure for the private placement and preferential allotment is the same. Now what is the right offer of the securities? Everyone must be knowing about the right offer of the securities. Anyone have an idea about right offer? Yeah?
You have given invitation to your current shareholders to subscribe.
Yeah, right, correct. It is correct. Given to the right issue is like given opportunities to your shareholders to subscribe the shares. But there is a like ratio. In the current ratio, you need to allot them the shares. If, for example, if there are 2 shareholders holding 5,000 and 5,000, so ratio will be 1:1. So your new shares will be given in the 1:1 ratio. Ratio should not be changed. If you are changing a ratio, then preferential allotment of securities will come into picture. Now, what is the difference between private placement and right issue of securities? As private placement of securities is an allotment or issue of shares other than existing shareholder. So it is but obvious that existing shareholder approval has to be taken care before issuing shares. So shareholders approval will require for private placement. Board resolution will require in case of right issue of shares. Now, allottees in case of a private placement will be the selected group of persons decided by the board of directors. So offer should go in PS4. PS4 is a form prescribed in the rules. In right issue, there is no proper format has been defined, but company should give an offer letter to the existing shareholder in case of a right issue. Maximum number of members as in the private placement is given in the definition also at 200. In right issue, there will be no criteria because you are issuing shares to the existing shareholders only. And whatever it should not exceed 200. If it's exceed 200, then private public company का जो procedure है you need to follow. Now, what will be the size of the investment? In case of a private placement, one needs to take that the minimum size of investment done by the shareholders or the member should be the minimum of 20,000 rupees. Earlier, in the 1956, if the investor is issuing shares of 500, shares were issued for the 5,000 rupees, 10,000 rupees, it is not like the case. For the private placement, investors should invest minimum 20,000 rupees. It is excluding premium, it is just a face value of the securities. There are no conditions in the right issue because you are issuing shares on a pro rata basis. Now, in case of the right issue, you have given an option to your shareholders. So, if the shareholders are not wants to subscribe the shares, they can de-announce their rights and afterwards board can decide to whom the shares should be issued. Now let us come to the filing and records requirement for a private placement and preferential allotment of securities. See, you have passed a special resolution for a private placement and preferential allotment. So you need to pass a special resolution in general way. This CTC is the certified copy of resolution, not your CTC. Certified true copy of the resolution should be filed with MGT 40, notice of the general meeting along with the explanatory statement. And in case of private placement and preferential allotment, valuation report is the mandatory. Whether you are issuing shares on a premium or on a face value, valuation report should be taken from the chartered accountant, practicing chartered accountant. Shorter consent will be required in case you are holding general meeting at a shorter notice. Now, what are the minimum time period for a holding, like giving a notice for a general meeting? Yeah, it is a 21 days. So, if you are not holding a general meeting on a 21 days, then shorter consent of the shareholder should be taken care of. Now, after deciding shares on a preferential allotment basis, Board of Directors will issue a letter of offer. Letter of offer will be circulated to the proposed members of the company. There is a format that is PS4 and complete record of a price placement offer is PS5. Now let us see the format of PS4 and PS5. This is a format of private placement offer letter. This is covered in the 4 parts. First part is the general information about the company. All the details like the name of the company, address, register office details, incorporation date, business carried out by the company, management details, name of like existing directors of the company. All details you need to give in this PS4. Second part is the particulars of the offer, like how many shares you are issuing, date of passing of board resolution, whether approval of shareholder has been taken or no. All this should go in the PS4. Disclosure with regard to interest of directors and litigations. If there is any fraud or penalty involved in the company, then this should be mentioned in the PS4. So proposed members will come to know about this. Fourth is the financial position, like authorized share capital, paid up capital of the company. And fifth will be the declaration given by the directors that all the formalities with respect to allotment of security, issue of securities have been done with. PS5 is a only one-page format. Here, this PS5 to be taken to be prepared for the records of the company. Here the company details will come, name of the company, register office address of a company, then the proposed allottee of a company whom you are issuing PS4, that is draft letter of offer to whom you are issuing. Now this PS4 and PS5 should go along with GNL 2. And this should be done within 30 days of the circulation of offer. With this GNL 2, the ROC are raising, for approval in the GNL2, ROC are raising queries with regard to MGT 14 filed by the company. So it is advisable that you are attaching challan of that MGT 14 filed for the special resolution. Now, what are the formalities done afterwards, like after filing MGT 14 and GNL2? Yeah.
What exactly is the GNL form?
GNL2 is the general form available. So, in case of a private placement, if you are going for a private placement,
General form. There are certain forms which are still not notified. So we need to attach that form in GNL2.
see, earlier 81 was not notified by the NCA. So, we are filing consent of the auditor in GNL2. It is this way. Now, after filing that MGT 14 and GNL2, next step will be the issue of securities. Since you have received the application amount from the shareholders, proposed shareholders, you need to issue shares. So, MGT 14 needs to be filed within 30 days of the board resolution for issue of shares. This MGT 14 is for the board resolution. Earlier MGT 14 was for the special resolution. Now, after filing MGT 14, this MGT 14 and PS3 is applicable in all three cases: right of offer for securities, private placement, and preferential allotment of securities. PS3 is the allotment form. After filing PS3, your paid-up capital and the master data of the company will increase. PS3 to be filed within 30 days of allotment of the securities. The attachment will be the list of allottees, CTC of the board resolution for allotment, valuation report, and PS5 for in case you are issuing shares on a private placement basis or preferential allotment basis. Now, one should take care that in the all documents which we are filing with the ROC or which we are giving to the outsiders, it should have a letterhead of a company, and letterhead should consist of name, address, then the telephone number, like correspondence address, then contact details, email ID, and the SIN number. It is mandatory to have all this on the letterhead of a company or any correspondence which a company making with the outside. And if the director signing on any document, then they should mention the day number at the time of signing. Anywhere they are signing, and if the documents are going to file with the ROC or any outsiders, then they should mention the day number. Now, what if
What are the filing fees for those forms?
so it depends on the paid-up capital of the company or authorized share capital of the company.
Minimum is 5.
Minimum is the 200 in case of a small company, and if the paid-up if your authorized share capital is more than 50 lakhs, then minimum filing fees is 600. And if you are filing late beyond 30 days, then additional fees you have to pay. So, if you are not filing with 30 days expire, so if you are filing that more extra 30 days, then one time filing fee. So you have 600 and 600. So sorry, it is a 2 times directly. So 1200 and 600, 1800 you need to pay. Now, what will the penal provision if you have not complied with the provision with respect to allotment in issue of securities? The liability will be on director, company, and the promoter of a company. Penalty amount involved is the amount involving the offer and invitation or 2 crores, whichever is higher. So, if amount is only 1 lakh rupees, so you need to pay 2 crores rupees because it is whichever is higher. So, penalty amount in the Companies Act 2013 has been drastically increased. And with this penalty, company needs to pay all the share application money which company has received within 30 days of imposing a penalty. Now, let us move to the next topic. We have done with the issue and allotment of securities. Now, what is a deposit? Anyone have an idea about deposit? Yeah.
The directors, right?
Sorry?
By the directors, right? When you are
No, only deposit. Sorry, I am asking for the deposit. Okay. Anyone? Deposit? It is written over here only. Deposit include any receipt of money by way of deposit or loan in any other form by a company. So it is not compulsory that amount accepted by a company, the name is the deposit. If anyone has given a loan to the company and if it is not complied with the definition given in the act, then that will fall under the definition of deposit. I'll come to you any other form means what in the next slide. Now following classes of a company which have been described in this slide are exempted from the provision of acceptance of a deposit. Banking company, NBFC is the non-banking financial companies, housing financial companies and companies as may be specified by the central government. Central government has a power to exempt any class of companies. Now see, deposit does not include any amount received from a promoter as a part of loan agreement from a bank. Share application money received in advance, but allotment should be made within the 60 days. If the share application money is pending in the bank account and if it is not allotted shares within 60 days, then that will become a deposit. So in the previously we have seen any other form means this form. If share application money is pending after 60 days, it will become a deposit. Any amount received by the directors are exempted provided directors give the declaration that they have given a loan to the company out of their own funds and not out of borrowed funds. Any amount received from an employee of a company, any amount raised by issue of bonds or debentures, there are certain these are also not covered under deposit. Earlier in 1956, deposit or loan accepted from the members were exempted, but now it is not like this. If a member has given a loan to the company, then it will become a deposit. Now what if in 1956 company has accepted a deposit from a member? What compliance is to be made? Compliances are filing of DPT 4. Everyone must have done DPT 4, I think so, because the due date of filing DPT 4 was 30 June and it was extended to 30th August. Anyone has done DPT 4 for acceptance of deposit? Okay. Earlier, as I have said, if a deposit accepted from the members or directors relatives, it is not exempted in Companies Act 2013. So, after commencement of this Act, company needs to file DPT 4 showing that the outstanding amount of a deposit. This form needs to be filed by the due date was 30th June and afterwards it was extended to 30th August. Attachment is the statement of deposit accepted by the company and outstanding amount of the same. Now, there should be an arrangement for repayment of such deposit and auditor certificate for outstanding amount of deposits. Auditor should give a certificate how much amount is pending, like outstanding from the company's point of view.
Is it applicable to private limited also?
This deposit, yeah, so it is applicable. All private companies. It is applicable to all companies. All companies needs to pay DPT 4 if they have accepted deposit from members or directors. Even if the directors, this acceptance from the directors is exempted, but they need to file a statement in DPT 4. Earlier DPT 4 was also not notified, so we were filing this DPT 4 with the GNL 2. Now if any amount is outstanding, like in this Act 2013, acceptance of from the members is also deposit. So there should be an arrangement to pay such deposit and such deposit should be paid within a year, 1 year. From the commencement of the Act was commenced on 1st April. So this deposit should be repaid by 31st March 2015. Now there are options available to the company from which they can raise their requirements of funds. One option was a capital and the second is the loan. They can take a loan from the outsiders, but at the time of taking a loan from the bank or the financial institution, they ask for a security. So if any security is created,
on the property of a company or on any fixed asset, whether it is a tangible or intangible, company needs to file a charge form within 30 days of its creation. In 1956, there are certain, they have prescribed on what, if you are securing this property, then you need to file a charge. If you are securing this property, then you need to file a charge form. But now it is not specified. So you need to file charge on everything. If you have created security on some property of a company, you need to file a charge form. See, for example, fixed deposit was not included in previous act. But now if you are creating charge on a fixed deposit of a company, then also you need to file a charge in form CHG1. And charge can be your property situated in or outside India. This charge form needs to be signed by the director. Director will sign on behalf of a company. Charge holder will sign, and practicing professional need to attach its certification. Now, these are the forms CHG1 and CHG9. CHG9 is for the debentures, for other it is CHG1. Attachment will go copy of the instrument creating a charge. Now, what are the instruments? Mostly the company when takes the loan, bank and the company execute an agreement. So agreement will be there. And what points to be checked in the agreement while filing a form CHG1? Rate of interest, terms of repayment, margin money included in that, extent of operation of charge, other terms and conditions as may be specified in the agreement. Now, if you are taking a loan, then other one also needs to take care of, that is borrowings, whether company is authorized to borrow. Because in 2013, companies have provided that there are certain amounts which cannot be accepted, beyond certain amount company cannot borrow. So you need to take care that resolution for borrowings have been filed by the company, and you can mandatory, it is not mandatory requirement to attach with CHG1, but you can ask for the same.
Even if they are interest free, suppose some loans are interest free.
If you have created any security on your property of the company, then it is mandatory to file charge form.
But what about the deposit? Deposit rules will apply to the interest free loans also?
Yeah, it is applicable.
Interest free loans.
Yeah, interest rate. Because if member is giving any loan to the company, interest rate, then acceptance of deposit from the member is included in the deposits. After filing this charge, suppose if the company has not filed charge form within 30 days, then what are the ways to file this form? Company can file this form within 300 days, means 30 days plus 270 days. The 300 days includes 30 days. With the additional fees, company can file a charge. And if within the 300 days also company has not filed charge, what are the ways to file this charge? The way is condemnation of delay, filing with the central government. And condemnation of delay with the central government will involve huge penalty and time also and effort also. So better to file within 30 days or 300 days. After filing condemnation of delay, central government will give their order, that is to be filed with INC 28, and after filing INC 28, your charge form will get approved. Now, after filing charge, CHG1 or CHG9, as the case may be, ROC will issue a certificate. That certificate is the mandatory because banks are nowadays asking for that certificate of charge registered with the ROC. So it is available on the ROC side. After filing your form, you immediately get your certificate because this form is the STP form. So within an hour, your certificate will be created. If there is a modification of charge, like company has created profit, company has taken a loan of 1 crore rupee and company has paid amount from the them and 80 lakhs is pending. So company needs to file a notification of charge that is in CLG 1 only, but certificate you will get in CLG 3. Now company has paid all the charge. 1 crore rupees has been paid by the company. Make sure that the charge has been paid in full. Then only you can file CLG 4. And after filing CLG 4, you will get a certificate that is in CLG 5. This satisfaction of charge has given us only 30 days of time. There is no exchange or no additional fees. If it is not filed within 30 days, go for the combination of delay. It is the only option available. Now let us see the statutory register. Anyone has seen the black register which the company secretary normally is filing? Okay. So can you tell me the different, okay, I am not aware of this. The statutory register covers, like in the Companies Act, it covers register of members, debentures holder, register of foreign register of members, register of charge, register of contract arrangement in which directors are interested, register of deposit, register of director, key manager, person. These are all types of charge which company needs to maintain as per their applicability. Now there are like in the 1956 they have not mentioned that company can maintain the register in electronic form. But in 2013 they have specifically mentioned that company can maintain the register in electronic form, which should be signed by the authorized person or the company secretary. The responsibility is given more on the company secretary. Company secretary will be liable for non-compliances. Yes, sir. Okay.
Register of fixed assets missing.
Register of fixed assets.
It's there or not? I don't know. In 2013 it is there.
Sir, I also need to check. Register of fixed assets. Okay. The responsibility is given on the company secretary. If there is no company secretary in the company, then board should authorize someone to take care of the statutory registers. Now there are certain companies for whom the statutory register electronically maintained is compulsory. For listed company, it is mandatory to maintain the register in electronic form, and different other company is like that, in which there are more than 1,000 shareholders. If a company has more than 1,000 shareholders, then they should maintain their register in electronic form. Option of physical form is also available, but it is advisable to have an electronic record only. Nowadays, no one is making entries with the hand and all that. It takes time also, and if you wants to edit it, you cannot be able to edit it. Now let us see the format of the register. This is the register of equity members. Like register of member. I hope you are able to read it. One second. See, all the details are covered in the register of members. First of all, name of the company will come, class of share, whether it is equity, preference, nominal value, total share held, then personal details. Name of the member, if any joint holder is there, address, register office address of a company in case of a body corporate, their email ID, registration number, unique identification number, father's name, mother's name, spouse name. Earlier in the statutory register there was only father's name. So now it is for mother's name also and spouse name also. PAN number of the shareholder, occupation, nationality, then date of allotment, share certificate allotted to them, etc. details to be entered in the register of members. Register of share transfer, register of director and key manager person. Key manager person is a new concept which my cook speaker will explain to you. Register of charge. register of conflict with related party and the directors in the, it is a related party and contracts, register of contract with the related party and contract and bodies corporate in which directors are interested. Register of investment not to be held in its own name to be maintained. Register of loan guarantee security and acquisition. This loan guarantee earlier was not applicable to private company, now it is applicable to private company also. Now any question with respect to this topic which I have covered? So, shall we start with another topic which my co-speaker will start with? Sure.
Thank you, Bijal. First of all, good evening, everyone. I know all are might be very bored now, I think so, after hearing this so much procedure expect. So, I, Usha Parekh, here to give you some more highlights on the various aspects of the Companies Acts or what are the compliance which we need to take care. So now let us start a discussion on your topic which are own interest, that is appointment of an auditor. Who is an auditor? Can anyone tell me? I think so all are pursuing CA only here, right? So any idea? Who are auditor? What are the job of the auditor?
Two types of auditor. One is statutory auditor, another is cost auditor.
Cost auditor, yes. So, who is an auditor?
She will do a statutory audit.
Yeah. So, what statutory auditor do? Come on. Again, I think so you all are doing that work only. Yes?
Participate, which she is asking you, please participate.
Come on guys, I know you are quite bored, but please answer me.
All are ITCC or finalists? So,
You
going
should
to
know,
appear
yeah.
ITCC, going to appear for ITCC. All of you. Or is there any final student also who has passed ITCC? Okay. Then you should know.
Okay. Auditor is someone who is responsible for evaluating the validity and trustworthy of the company or the organization financial statement. The job of the auditor is to check the accuracy of the business record that is made in the books of account. It shows the real and the actual financial position to its valuable shareholder. Shareholder are the one who appoint the statutory auditor. In earlier act, like the appointment was of the statutory auditor as the every annual general meeting. But in the new act, as per Companies Act 2013, the auditor will be now appointed for the period of 5 years, with subject to the rectifying such appointment at each and every annual general meeting. So now let us start with the procedure, expect how the auditor is appointed. Every company other than a government company need to appoint auditor. The board need to appoint the first auditor within 30 days of the first board meeting from the date of incorporation. If the company fails to appoint the first auditor within the first board meeting, then the member will appoint the statutory auditor at the EGM within 90 days, and that appointment will be valid till the first AGM. Now, as for the new act, the new concept was also introduced, that the auditor rotation. It will also create more job opportunity for the new auditor also, and it will enhance the skills and objectivity in the audit. Auditor rotation is applicable to the specific class of the company, that are all listed company, all listed public company with a paid up capital of 10 crore, private company with a paid up capital of 20 crore, or public company with outstanding loan deposits more than 50 crore. The auditor rotations are not applicable to OPC and small company. Now let us see the concept and the process of the audit rotation. the individual cannot be appointed as an auditor for continuous period of more than 5 years. An auditor firm cannot be audited for continuous period of more than 2 terms of 5 years. The cooling period for this is 5 years. The provisions regarding the rotation are applied retrospective. However, 3 years time will be given to effect the provision of rotations. I think so you might know the retrospective effect. What is retrospective effect? So, if someone is not knowing, so let us see the example. If the individual is an auditor in a company for more than 5 years, after commencement of the new act, he will be appointed for the period of 3 years from now. This is the retrospective effect. And if the auditor is only appointed for 1 year from now, then he will be appointed for more 4 years. And in the case of the firm, if auditor is of the company is appointed for more than 10 years, he will be appointed for more 3 years due to retrospective effect. And if the audit firm who acts as the auditor for 1 year, then he will be appointed for more 3 years, for 9 years, sorry. After rotation, now there are certain services. The new act has also classified the services which cannot be rendered by the statutory auditor. If he is appointed as a statutory auditor company, there are certain services which cannot be provided by the statutory auditor of the company, like bookkeeping, accounting services, internal audit, investment advisory service, investment banking service, and management service, and any other kind of services as was described in the rule. As we all are appointed as a statutory auditor, we also know how we can remove ourselves, or we can resign from self, or a member can also remove the auditor. There are the certain modes which are given in the Act: casual vacancy, removal by tribunal, removal of the auditors, resignation of the auditor, and non-reappointment of the auditor. I will take only certain of it points that are casual vacancy. In case of that, the casual vacancy to be filled by the board within 30 days, and in case of resignation, the board recommends the new auditor at the EGM within 3 months from the date of the resignation. If auditor is removed by the member, or a company want to remove the auditor before the expiry of its tender period, then the member or a company will make an application, will call in an EGM, will pass a resolution and take the prior approval of central government for it. And if the auditor himself want to resign from the post of statutory auditor, then he need to file certain form with the ROC within 30 days in a prescribed form, and the form should attach resignation letter. In resignation letter, there should be a brief particulars about the resignation. Why means the reason of resignation should be brief.
It's Form 83, right?
Yeah, I'm going to come up that also. So now let us see what are the forms which we need to file with the ROC. While appointing an auditor, we need to file ADD 1 within 15 days from the general meeting. Earlier it was 30 days, now it is 15 days. What are the things we need to attach with that? That are copy of intimation sent by a company, copy of the return concern given by the auditor, copy of the resolution passed by a company. In earlier act, it was the responsibility of the auditor to file Form 23B. Now the responsibility shifted from auditor to company. Now it is responsibility of the company who need to file ADD 1. And in case of resignation, the Form ADD 3 need to file within 30 days from date of resignation with the resignation letter. It's advisable that we should also attach the board resolution from the company for better compliances. This is a very new concept, has been introduced by the new Act. Means the concept of director under the Companies Act 2013. As per the new Act, the Act has specified that the panel of the board should include women director, independent director, and key managerial persons. What are the criteria to appoint a women director? Every listed company every other public company that has a paid-up capital of 100 crore or more, or a turnover of rupees 300 crore or more. For this, the Act has given certain cooling periods so that a company can appoint a woman director. The company which is incorporated under 2013 Act, within 6 months from the date of incorporation, they need to appoint a woman director. And the company which is incorporated under 1956 Act, within a period of 1 year from the commencement of the Act, need to fulfill this criteria for appointment of woman director in your panel of the board. This is the major change in the panel of the board. Independent directors are like it was only mandated by this SEBI, and it was given in the clause 49 of the listing agreement that the company need to have independent director on the panel of the board. But now the Companies Act 2013 had also given that importance that every panel of the board need to have independent director. Every listed public company to have at least 1/3 of the total number of the director as independent director. The public company having the paid up share capital of rupees 10 crore or more, or a public company having a turnover of 100 crore or more. Public company which have in aggregate outstanding loan or borrowing or deposits or deposit exceeding 50 crore need to have the independent director on the panel of the board. Who is the independent director? Can anyone tell me? Come on. Yeah.
Director is not interested in the company.
Pardon?
Not having any interest in the company.
Yeah. A person of integrity, relevant expertise and experience. He is not a part of the promoter or related to the promoter or a director of the company or is holding subsidiary or associate company. He should not have any relation directly or indirectly with the company. He himself or through his relative hold or held the position of KMP or the employee of the company of his holding subsidiary or associate company in the 3 financial year when he is appointed. Hold together with his relative 2% or more of the total voting power of the company, or who possess such other qualification as is prescribed in the rules. Can anyone tell me who is KMP? Come on, it's written on the slide. Can you just tell me up?
Key management.
Yes, key management person that are MD, managing director, CEO, manager. In case of absence of any of the 3 personnel, then MD can be take place on that position, and a company secretary and CFO. There is certain specific class of the company who require to appoint KMP. That is, every listed company and a company who is having paid up capital of 10 crore and more need to appoint KMP. The KMP should hold the office only in one company. The same person cannot have the same designation in other company also. The KMP should be one company. While the whole-time KMP person of the company shall be appointed by a board resolution by stating the terms and conditions of the appointment, including their remuneration. Now let us see what are the procedure while appointing a woman director, independent director and key manager person. Form DR12 need to be filed within 30 days of passing the board resolution with the following attachment. That while appointing a woman director, we need to take care of the concerned letter, proof of identity, proof of address. Actually, the proof of identity and proof of address is forming a part of DR2 only. MVP1 and board resolution. It is advisable that we should have the MVP1 and board resolution for ROC record. While appointing an independent director, we need to have the concerned letter, proof of identity, proof of address, letter of appointment, declaration of independency, and MVP1 and board resolution. These are also advisable that we should call for appointment letter, declaration of independency, MVP1 and board resolution for ROC record. While appointing key management person, we need to have the concern letter and board resolution. While appointing key management person, we need to file two different forms, that are MCT 14 and MR1 with the same attachment. This is a very new concept was introducing the Act. Earlier, some companies were voluntarily exercising e-voting this, but now under Companies Act 2013, it has become mandatory to certain or specific class of the company who should conduct e-voting. Can anyone tell me what is e-voting? Yeah, voting online. It's a green initiative by MCA for better and effective corporate governance, which enables the shareholder to participate in voting, in effective voting. For example, if a general meeting of a company is held at a registered office, if the shareholder holding a nominee percentage of the shareholding of the company cannot travel such a long to vote for certain resolution. So to eliminate this type of difficulty and enhancing the participation of the shareholder, the e-voting concept was introduced. Now every member can easily go through his PC, laptop or tablets without physically attending their AGM. So they can vote by sitting at their home and they can vote for certain resolutions. Which company need to provide e-voting facility? Any idea? Yeah, every listed company, the public company having not less than 1,000 shareholders need to have e-voting facility. When e-voting facility can be availed? When can the e-voting facility can be availed? At the general meeting, and when the company is having postal ballot, then they should have e-voting facility to provide it to the shareholders. Now let us see the procedure of e-voting. The company need to appoint the e-voting agency. Means the company should have an agreement with an e-voting agency for conducting e-voting. The company need to appoint scrutinizer. The company will appoint a professional for this, that is a CA, CS, a chartered accountant who are in a practice, or an advocate also can be a scrutinizer. The company need to dispatch the notice to the shareholder. The notice should contain the resolution which require voting through electronically mode. And the notice should also be placed on the website of the company and the agency who are providing e-voting facilities. The company need to publish advertisement in the newspaper not less than 5 days before the beginning of the e-voting. The company need to publish an advertisement in the newspaper, one in English newspaper and another in the regional language where the registered office of the company is situated. The advertisement should specify the date, time and the duration of voting period commence and the closure of the voting period, and the contact detail in case the shareholder might face any grievances while voting for the resolutions or to the voting. How actually e-voting process work? How actually the e-voting actually started by the company? The company desire to use the e-voting facility, need to avail the facility from the e-voting agency, which are this. The agency will issue the user ID and password for maker, checker and the scrutinizer. The company itself, or with the help of RTA, will set up the e-voting schedule and website and upload a resolution on which the voting is required. The company or an RTA will upload the ROM, that is Register of Member. The company are setting the record date, which are the members which are eligible for e-voting. The agency will generate password for security holder and forward same to the company or an RTA. The company will then communicate the password and EVS number and procedure of e-voting along with the notice to all the security holders. The security holder should log on the website of the agency or a company during the duration of e-voting and cast their vote for all the resolution. After the closure of the e-voting, the scrutinizer will issue a report on it, on the e-voting. The scrutinizer shall issue the e-voting within the 3 days from the closure of your e-voting. The report should disclose how many votes are passed in the favor or in against for all the resolution. Or if it's invalid votes, then it's also specified in the report that the certain votes are invalid if the shareholders are not voted properly in it. The company need to file certain forms for that the company has conduct e-voting. That is a GNN2, because the format will not notify. There are general forms GNN2 which need to file within 30 days from the date of AGM. That is with the scrutinizer report and the MGT 15. It is advisable that we should also attach the proceeding of the general meeting. Means the minutes of the AGM will also need to file with this MGT 15.
Ma'am, once you have opted for e-voting, company has opted for e-voting, can some of the shareholders who are in remote area, who are aged, not techno-savvy, can they forward their vote to the scrutinizer in physical form?
No, sir. They have to vote electronically or they have to be there at the AGM.
At the EGM they can vote?
EGM or AGM? What may be?
Whatever.
Whatever, yeah.
Actually, postal ballot form should be given to the shareholders.
If the company is not having the postal ballot, it's just a normal voting like AGM.
Some of the companies voluntarily are providing postal ballot in
Also,
Yeah.
addition to e-voting. So that you know.
The postal ballot are given at the AGM, not at that time.
At that time also and at the time of voting also. There are some of the companies which are voluntarily providing.
Okay. This is actually it's not a new concept, but the format of the annual return has been revised under the Companies Act 2013. It will help for the better corporate governance by requiring more disclosures under the Companies Act 2013. Every company shall prepare its annual return in format of MGT 7. Till the firm is not notified it, we are just having in the rule the actual format of MGT 7. The particular of the annual return shall be as on the end of the financial year, that is 31st March. Earlier, the format of the annual return should be as on the date of AGM, not at the date of financial year. The annual return need to be filed with the ROC within 60 days from the date of the AGM. Now we need to also attach the extract copy with the board report in the format of MGT 9. Earlier it was not there that we need to attach a separate annual return with the board report. But in the new one it has been specified. Signing and certification of the annual return. In case of the company other than the small company and OPC, the annual return need to be signed by a director, company secretary in a whole time of the company, or where there is no such company secretary, then by a PCS. In the case of listed company or a company having the paid up capital of 10 crore or more or a turnover of 50 crore and more, need to attach a certificate from a PCS in form MGT 8. Practicing company secretary. We need to attach this MGT 8 in MGT 7. It's a part of MGT 7 only for certain specific class of companies. Now let us see the particulars which is introduced by the Companies Act 2013. Like earlier there were only 8 parts in the annual return. Now Now the annual return has specified, now I think so the annual return has replaced the compliance certificate almost in all the aspects. Like in the annual return we need to specify the meetings of the members, class thereof of board on its various committees for the board meetings or the meetings held by them. We also need to provide the remuneration detail in the annual return. We need to also disclose the penalty or punishment imposed on the company, its directors or officers, and the detail of compounding of the offence and appeal made against such penalty and punishments. Earlier it was not there that we need to disclose any penalty or punishment which are faced by the director or a company. Now in the annual return we need to specify that also. In respect of the share held by or on behalf of the foreign institution investor, indicating their name, address, country of incorporation, registration, number, percentage of the shareholding held by them, and any matter related to certification of the compliance, means the form filed by the company. We need to give the information in the annual return. Earlier we are not given this information in the annual return. It was only provided in the compliance certificate. But now we need to provide this information, whether the form was filed within the time, what was the particular, what was the date of filing of the form. It was filed within the prescribed limit or beyond the prescribed limit. And any such other matter as prescribed in the rule, that is in NGT 7.
So compliance certificate is done then?
Yeah, it's done
There's no
away.
compliance certificate?
No. It's only the annual return. The compliance return has been replaced by the annual return.
CGs have lost.
No, we had increased in the annual return. The filing of the balance sheet and profit and loss account. Earlier, the financial statement, auditor reports and the board report of the company whose financial year begins before the 1st April 2014. There was a circular stating for this that the company whose financial year begins before 1st April 2014 need to file Form 23AC and ACA, because the new form under the Companies Act 2013 are still not notified, that are Form AOC 3 and AOC 4 in replacement of Form 23AC and ACA. So that was the company need to file their old annual filing only, that is Form 23AC and ACA. The company need to attach the attachment of the Form 23AC and ACA, where in a case of 23AC it was the notice, director report, balance sheets, auditor report and their notes. And in the case of 23AC, I think so quite some of you are knowing that we should always we should not disclose the profit and loss account in Form 23ACA. So it's actually the Form 23AC is a view public document. Anyone can take search of your company, can know about your working and your profit of your company. So it is better that we should not attach the profit and loss account and that statement in Form 23AC. We need to only attach 23ACA, the profit and loss account and the statement, which is this form is non view public document. We cannot see the Form 23AC for private limited company.
It is in public domain.
Yeah, it's the Form 23ACA is the public domain. 23CACA is not a public domain. The penalty provisions: if the company is not complying the annual return according to the Act under Section 92, if the company is not complying according to the provision for the annual return given under the Act, if the company, the fine not less than 50,000 but which may extend to 5 lakh. Officer in default, imprisonment per term which may extend to 6 months, or fine not less than 50,000 but which may extend to 5 lakh, or both of it. The company secretary in practice. So the company secretary need to take care while certifying the annual return of the company. The fine not less than 50,000 but which extend to 5 lakh also. So it's very
But what is the period of non-compliance?
it's like
For a year, if it is not filed then, or for 6 months or for 3 months?
it's like if the practicing company secretary or a company is not complying with the provision of the annual return, means the annual return is not according to the provision of the act, then they will pay the penalty provision.
If it is not filed with them,
Then we need to pay the additional
then
fees.
also this will be there.
No, this was not there. If the annual return is not according to the provision of the Companies Act 2013, then
The filing fees will be the like additional fees which
Will be the
that
penalty.
will
will be
Kind of
penalty. Yeah. This is a very new concept was introduced by the Companies Act 2013. The list of board resolution which we need to file with the ROC. So this will help the company who will not amend their resolution and will not pass any backdated resolution, or they will not update their minutes also. It is likely that in the future the MC might call for minutes also instead of the board resolution. We can see certain resolution which we need to file with the ROC to make a call on the shareholder in respect of the money for an unpaid of their shares, to authorize the buyback of the security under section 68, to issue security including debentures whether in India or outside India, to borrow money, to invest the funds of the company, to grant the loan or give guarantee or provide security in respect of the loan, or to approve the financial statement of the board report. Means whenever company is approving the financial statement and the board report, they need to file an NCT 14 for that. There is a signing of the board report that also need to be given record to the ROC. To diversify their business, to approve amalgamation, mergers and reconstruction, to take over of the company or acquire controlling substantial stake in the another company, to make a political contribution, to appointing or remove the key management person, or to take a note of the appointment or removal of the one level below the KMPs. To appointment of an internal auditor and a secretarial auditor, we need to file NCT 14, and this is a very new concept, that to take a note of the disclosure of the director interest and the shareholding. Means whenever director is appointed in a company during the financial year, they need to file an NCT 14 and need to furnish MEP 1 and DRA to the company. For every appointment, they need to file NCT 14 in every company, means in which they are a director. To invite or accept or renew the public deposit related and the related matter, and to approve the quarterly, half-yearly or annual financial statement of the financial results as the case may be. Means whenever a listed company publishes clause 41, they need to intimate ROC also for this. Not only BAC, they need to intimate ROC. The form required for that is form NCT 14, which need to be filed within 30 days from the date of passing the resolution with the CTC copy of the board resolution. Thank you. Anyone have any questions for this?
Any questions?
Yeah.
What's MGD 15? What is MGD 15?
It's like the company who provide e-voting facility need to attach MGD 15.
So like forms.
Means which provide the details of the e-voting conduct, the date, venue and the member who had attended their AGM. That
They have divided forms into different parts. Related
it's
to
why the
account,
chapter wise
related
they
to
are
management,
it's the chapter wise they are making heading of the forms.
Is the partner is required to मतलब आपने बोला कि 10 years का tenure रहेगा auditor.
It's two term of 5 years
It's like for a firm.
for a firm.
For a firm it's 10 years ना. But if मतलब the signing authority is required to be changed.
At every means it's depend upon the board who will decide the rotation of the signing of the auditor. The board will decide the auditor who will next sign our balance sheet, because the team of auditor will be same only the
I'm
firm.
saying first 5 years partner sign and then for next 5 years of the same firm.
No, it's depending upon the board. They will rotate their signing auditor.
No, his question is The thing is that firm is appointed for 5 years,
5
an
years.
extended period of 5 years.
Yes.
Now any partner who is new or old can sign.
Sign, yes.
But it depends on the firm now.
It's
To
depending
choose
upon the
choose
firm
partner
or
who
a
will
board
sign
will
the
decide
balance
who will sign the balance sheet.
sheet. Whoever is in
On
charge
a
of that
rotation
company
basis.
affairs will sign the balance sheet.
Yeah.
There is no change of
When the auditor is ratified at every AGM,
Yeah,
so do you have to file ADP 130?
yeah, we need to file.
Sir, actually, in case of the auditor which we are asking, there is a ratification in every AGM. Suppose if the auditor is appointed for 5 years, then also there is a ratification of auditor in every AGM.
Yeah.
Yes.
So members will decide who will sign their audit report.
Every year actually.
So in the firm there are 3 to 4 partners, so members will decide which partner will sign their audit report.
Normally the person who is in charge, because
Yeah.
he should be aware of what is the
Yes.
content of the balance sheet.
And you were asking about that notary, and that I have made a mistake. Any gazetted officer can also certify that, verify that.
That's good. You studied very immediately.
Any other questions?
Trusha and Visual, they were par excellence. Even if I had prepared at this age this kind of presentation, I would have been, more higher than what they have prepared for. Already declared that the next meeting of the students' study circle is on 5th of February. The topic is TDS, compliances and filing of returns and defaults, penalties, and e-filing of TDS returns. I request on behalf of Chamber of Tax Consultants, on behalf of the Students Committee and on behalf of all of you to carry out a very loud round of vote of thanks for both of you. Thank you. Good night. We'll meet on 5th February. Right.